Hey guys, welcome to the Connor podcast. Today we have a very special guest for the first episode. Introduce yourself, please.
My name's Connor.F and I'm a college student.
And what do you do in college?
So I do a variety of things in college. I currently study A-level law, media studies and criminology.
Right. And which one of those is your favourite subject?
Not really too sure, but I can definitely say that law is my least favourite subject currently.
Anyway, welcome back to the first episode of the Connor podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Kirill Marako. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so as you already know, Connor already said, but my name's Connor.F and I'm a college student. I work in Clarendon College. I say work like it's my job, but it's not. I study there.
I thought you were a teacher.
I'm not a teacher. Do I look like a teacher?
Yes.
You stupid prick.
Right, anyway, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Manchester.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
What do you mean, no, I'm not?
You're not from this country, stop pretending like you are. Your name's Kirill Marako, that's not an English name.
Well, it's actually an interesting story. I was born here in the UK, in Manchester, and my family is from Latvia. And since Kirill's quite a common name in Latvia, I was named Kirill.
Can you speak Latvian?
No, but I can speak Russian.
Go on then.
До свидания, товарищ.
He's a Russian spy.
I am a Russian spy.
Sleeper agent.
I am a sleeper agent.
Okay. But, so when you're in Latvia, is it like DayZ?
You know...
Is there zombies everywhere and fentanyl people and crazy people? When you go out, is there like all the crazy people in the street and they go, ah! And then it's pretty crazy, like. And then they come up to you and go, Sam!
Can we have a normal episode of this fucking podcast?
What are you talking about?
You just asked me, is Latvia like Daisy?
Yes. Is it?
No, it's nothing like it.
But they have all the Russian words.
I don't know. Latvia.
How do you survive there if you don't speak Latvian?
Well, since Latvia was originally, well, not originally, but it was part of the Soviet Union for quite a long time, and since the Soviet Union was primarily Russian-speaking in origin, Latvia adopted a Russian language during the duration of time.
Right. And what do you think about half of the Latvian language being made up?
I think it's a disgrace!
Yeah, you guys don't have a real language and only 1.7 million people speak it worldwide. There's no need to learn it, there's no need for it. Your country should... What's your favourite funny story to tell people?
No, throughout my life...
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you? The craziest experience?
Crazy experience I've ever had in my life? Probably when I, had quite a lot of crazy experiences in my life, but I'm trying to think of a good crazy experience. There was this one time I was hiking with my family members. And we went to this massive mountain.
Was this in Latvia?
No, this was actually in the UK.
Where?
I believe in Scotland.
Scotland. So this was Ben Nevis?
I'm not sure if it was Ben Nevis. I don't know what Ben Nevis is anymore.
Okay, go on.
So anyway, me and my family, we scaled this big mountain, and on the way back, this thick fog set in, and we completely lost our sense of direction. And me, since I was a young child at this point, I got completely lost. And while we were searching around for each other in this fog, the rest of my family had gotten out of the fog. They got lower altitude, but I was still on the mountain. So eventually I had to call up a rescue helicopter. You think it's funny? Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Okay, well
How did they carry you?
Well, they carried me with a harness. They attached me with a harness, so I went up the rope, and then they brought me back to this
Were they not worried the rope would snap?
What are you trying to say?
Were they not worried the rope would snap?
I don't see why they would.
Yeah, okay. But then what happened?
Well, they airlifted me to the hospital, and well, I was reunited with my family, and that's probably
Why did you have to go to the hospital?
Well, they didn't know if I had any injuries. For all they knew, I could have had a broken leg, but you know, since I was young, I couldn't really.
So how did you call them?
Well, my family called them because they had gone out the fog.
So how was it being in a helicopter?
It was actually very thrilling.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. I would definitely do it again. Getting lost in the fog, though.
Did you hear about Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, God rest his soul. He died in a helicopter crash.
Why didn't that happen to you? Were they not worried the rope would snap?
I don't see why they would be worried about the rope snapping.
Because of the implications.
Are you trying to say that I'm overweight?
Because of the implications.
Well, I was younger back then, so I would have, you know, been skinny, so...
So we built like... Spend a year at war or spend a year in prison?
You know, I'm quite a pacifist myself, so I would have to say spend a year in prison.
Why?
Well, like I said, I'm a pacifist. I don't
Do you
believe...
think you could survive in prison?
I would probably be stabbed. But, you know, I would try to survive prison, you know.
How? What was your plan? If you were put in prison right now, what would be your plan? If they found out what you did, what would be your plan?
Well, I've watched Prison Break. I've studied the art of the Michael Schofield in Prison Break, so I would attempt to escape prison.
How? Explain me your plan to escape prison.
Well, I would base it off my plan, well, not my plan, but Michael Schofield's plan from Prison Break. How he unscrewed the toilet in his cell and crawled through the wall, and yeah, he got out through the infirmary.
So what if you weren't next to the infirmary?
Well, I would
crawl through the toilet.
I would have to tunnel my way to the infirmary, like they did in Prison Break.
So you would crawl through a toilet.
Well, he took
You're a bit too wide for that.
They took the toilet off the wall and they made a hole in the wall, and they hid it behind the toilet.
You're a bit too wide for that.
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting. So where did you grow up and how did that affect who you became?
Well, I grew up in Openshaw, and I personally don't think it affected me in a negative way. I mean, some might say I'm a nice guy. I don't know. I don't know how people really see me. But I grew up in Openshaw. Pretty good childhood, I would say.
Do you think Openshaw is a nice place?
I mean, not really. I've seen some absolutely horrific things in Openshaw, such as, you know, I saw a man with a gaping wound on his head one time.
Where?
Near my house.
Where on his head? Where on his head?
I think just above his eyebrow.
What happened to him?
I don't know, I didn't ask him. I saw him just walk past him.
Why wouldn't you ask him? So,
I
you
don't
saw
really
a man
care.
dying in the street and you didn't care?
Well, he wasn't dying.
He had a gaping wound on his head.
Perhaps I over-exaggerated.
He had a hemorrhage on his head and you just said you didn't even care.
It's not my business.
So if there was a man dying on the street, you wouldn't care, you would walk past him?
No, I would call an ambulance.
But you didn't.
Well, he didn't really look like he needed an ambulance.
You just said he had a gaping wound on his head.
It was over-exaggerated.
Does that not seem like a cause for help? I think you're a you just said you're a nice guy, though. I don't think that's true. I think you've been lying to me. So what's your favourite thing about Clarendon?
Oh, I like how it's kind of close to my house, you know.
No, it's not.
It only takes about 40 minutes to get there by bus. I mean, compared to other colleges in the Manchester area, it's arguably the closest one to my house.
Manchester.
Yeah.
Manchester College.
Right. Well, I wasn't interested in anything to do with
Loretto.
Manchester.
Severian. No. But anyways. What's your favourite podcast?
The Connor Show!
If Morpheus came to you with the red pill and the blue pill, you could stay in the simulation or you could wake up. Which one are you choosing?
I would want to wake up and get magical powers like Neo did in the Matrix.
You would not get magical powers.
What do you mean? He could like
Because he was the chosen one. Did you even watch the film?
well, neither is Morpheus.
Yeah, he didn't have magical powers.
Yes, he did.
Not in the real world.
Not in the real world, but in the simulation he did.
Yeah.
So did Neo.
No. Neo could fly, Morpheus couldn't.
Well, you could say that because Neo was the chosen one, he had greater superpowers.
Yeah.
So
All that Morpheus could do was fighting. He just knew every fighting style, but that was because of the implication.
I'm pretty sure he also had some sort of like super ability, right?
Nope.
I'm pretty sure.
No. He died. How would he have a super ability?
I mean, people die every day.
That's very grim. You're next.
Okay.
Anyway, what is the general consensus about Latvians? How are they as people?
I mean, nowadays people, I would say they're very respectful and just nice people in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, comparing to people from the UK and how they behave, I would say they behave in a much more appropriate manner.
Okay. Name me one fact about Latvia. Your favourite fact.
Latvia is cool.
They have the tallest women.
Do they?
No, I just made that up. So what city in Latvia are you from?
Riga.
What is Riga?
It's the capital city of Latvia.
So, what's your favourite thing about Riga?
You know, the city centre's got some marvellous architecture, it really does look nice, really has this sort of old, classic aesthetic feel to it.
What's your favourite movie that you've seen recently?
My favourite movie that I've seen recently? It would probably have to be Transformers Dark of the Moon.
Isn't that the one for children?
No.
What? Which Transformers is that?
It's the third one directed by Michael Bay.
What about a movie that's come out recently?
I would have to say Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Correct.
That came out recently.
Did it not?
Saving Private Ryan.
Did it not?
No! What? Came out in 1998. What the fuck do you mean it came out recently? Are you normal? 1998. That movie came out recently before you did it. Just about the time of your birth. A little bit before that.
Yep, pretty much.
No, okay. Saving Private fucking Ryan, okay. What about a movie that came out within the last year?
So, have you ever heard of this short film called The Grandmother?
The Grandmother. That came out within the last year. What, by David Lynch?
It's quite a niche.
Is it?
Quite a niche little.
What happens in The Grandmother?
God.
I want you to explain the plot of The Grandmother to me. You said it's your favourite movie that's ever came out this year.
No, I said what's a good film I watched in the past. In
the past year. Okay, so explain the plot.
You know,
tell me one thing that happens in the film.
They don't really speak in the film, so I don't really know.
They still have a plot.
I don't really know what's
going on.
So
what is your favourite movie that you watched this year, but you didn't know what was happening?
I don't know. I don't know what was happening. It was just a silly little piece of media.
Oh, so David Lynch movies are a silly little piece of media. Like acting.
You know, I've been in a fair few pieces of media myself, yeah.
Such as?
For example, the Monster advertisement that I did in conjunction with Connor Media Production. I've also been in Bonfire Night Killer and a music video also in conjunction with Connor Media Production.
Right. And which one was your favourite?
I would have to say probably the short film.
The short film
The
that we
Bonfire Night
filmed.
Killer.
That was your favourite one?
Yeah.
To film? We filmed that until like 8 o'clock at night. We were out all night. And it was raining, and it was cold, and it was on bonfire night. That was your favourite one's film?
I don't mind.
Okay. You did an amazing performance in that. Can we get a recreation of the scream?
Bakersley.
So Bakersley, did you enjoy filming the music video?
Not that
Well,
much.
you didn't film it. Did you enjoy acting in it?
Some parts of it I did, some parts of it I didn't.
What about filming your own music video? Did you enjoy that?
No, it was horrific.
Why?
I just said it. The entire music video was just downright horrific.
It was an issue that you never completed the film.
I actually did complete it.
Are you proud of yourself for destroying my life? Alright, this is going to be the final question, okay?
Final question.
Have you enjoyed being on this podcast?
I have mixed opinions.
What was the worst question?
Probably all of them.
What was the best question?
None of them.
Okay. Alright. This is the final question.
Is the next one going to be the final question?
No, this is the final question. Fight 10-year-olds to the death or one teenage gorilla.
Repeat the options again.
Fight 10-year-olds to death or one teenage gorilla.
Yeah, give me the gorilla, bro.
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
The gorilla. Do I get to use weapons?
No.
Okay, yeah, gorilla.
The gorilla.
The gorilla.
You think you could kill a gorilla with
Yes.
your bare hands?
Yes.
With your bare hands?
Yes.
Do you know how big a gorilla is?
Teenage gorilla. I could whoop its ass, bro.
Okay. So this is going to be the end of my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. This is probably going to be the first and final episode of the podcast. Goodbye.